Yes.
yo la invito a bailar. Y ella a mí me sonríe sin siquiera mirar. Luego se gira y me dice si tú quieres gozar esta cumbia al bailar. Deja que yo te enseñe que no hay que acosar. La cumbia es la reina y al soltarme verás que si yo bailo sola, todo vamos a gozar. Que si yo bailo sola, todo vamos a gozar. Que si yo bailo sola, todo vamos a gozar.
After my 30
Que si
seconds,
yo
I
bailo
have a
sola, todo
PowerPoint presentation, so
vamos
it's a slideshow. And then
You should.
I have like 20 slides. 25 slides. It's gonna be a lot of dancing.
Okay.
And then I can do plaudits.
And do you have a cue for when you want me to advance it?
I'll just say next.
Okay, it's beautiful.
I don't have anything. Yeah. And then if you need to adjust the volume on the music, it's
Okay.
now. Pause this. And then, yeah, that one should be all ready to go.
Okay.
Or I can do the, yeah, I'll do the first one. Yeah, it's on.
Hi, my friends. I was trying desperately to get the projector back on. Right now, it's not working, but I do believe in accessibility. So I do have a question, not to put anybody on Front Street. Does anyone actually need or would prefer having the words on that screen so I could just spend an extra minute or two? Looking for hands, head nods. I saw, yes, thank you. Give me just a couple of more seconds just for me to play with this, and I promise to get us started. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. And also, thank you all for taking time to make sure that accessibility happens. Thank you. friends. Thank you. That's right, my friends. You are here at Murmurations, and that is a way to begin a show with an alarm. Friends, my name is Garfield Hilson. I will be your host for this evening during this wonderful time. This is Murmurations, and if this is your first time, my friends, you made an excellent decision to do on this Wednesday night. Murmurations is where we celebrate the artists and the teaching artists who are in our Writers in the Schools program. These folks go into public schools and teach young people creative writing, literacy, creativity, problem solving, and just how to be a damn human. So what we wanted to do was just give them some space to share their work instead of all the energy they pour into others. Today, we just want to pour into them a little bit. For those of you who came early, you saw us giving them food, awards, etc., telling them how much we love them, because we do. It's a true love fest, how we feel towards them. Friends, I'm really excited, and my job, amongst many things, tonight is just to prepare you mentally for the words, the great art that you're about to experience. So if you can, like that alarm was telling us, right? Prepare yourself. Things are about to happen. Yes. Tech friends, are you all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Friends, I have the wonderful honor of introducing our first reader tonight, Oliver Brickman. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, friends, like I said, we want to honor the people who come to the stage. So when I say their name, if you could clap, yell, let's practice some things. This is not your normal kind of poetry reading where we ask you just to sit there and just experience the words and just breathe it in quietly. You are allowed to kind of interact. The energy that you give to the people up here is the energy that you will receive back, if that is okay. For example, if someone is reading a line and you just love that line, can I hear you snap? Okay, very beatnik, very beatnik. I love it, I love it, I love it. Say that line just kind of hits you in the gut, right? It's some truism like, how does this person know my life, right? Can I hear you grunt? Okay, fam. I heard a little something in those grunts. People's releasing some energy. I love it. Let's see, what else can we do? Ooh, a thing you can do as someone is approaching up here, right? Because it can feel really lonely, this wonderful spotlight that is, I don't even know what color this lime green is looking, but it's doing a thing, right? It feels lonely up here. Things you can say to encourage someone before they read. You can say things like, Aka, do you know it? So you can say things like, that's my friend. Can I hear you say, that's my friend?
That's my friend.
Can I hear you say, go in, poet?
Go in, poet.
We almost had it. There's like a little dip for me. It's like, go in, poet. Can I hear that?
Go in, poet.
Y'all follow instructions very well. I'm feeling like I'm about to get a raise. My boss is in the building, so please do not embarrass me. Is that okay, friends? Okay, like I said, I have the honor of introducing Oliver Brickman. I'm about to keep that job, thank you. Oliver Brickman is a queer Jewish writer and performer invested in liberatory futures and reckoning with ghosts. The winner of the Split This Rock Poetry Prize and a nationally recognized slam poet, they have received support from Hedgebrook, the Lambda Literary Foundation, Yiddish Book Center, For Culture, and Artist Trust, a Bolt Writers Fellow, and Ken Warfel Fellow for Poetry and Community. Recent work has appeared in Narrative, Adroit, the Indiana Review, and as a part of the board's performance lab. They are currently at work on a collection of poems interrogating transness in 19th century spirit and photographs, and a memoir about collective organizing in Charlottesville, Virginia. During the white nationalist rallies of 2017, Ollie holds an MFA from the University of Virginia and lives in Seattle, where they work in a library and teach writing to youth and adults. Friends, we usually ask our writers a quirky question so we can get to know them just a little bit better before they come on up. This time we said, you are a wrestler. what would your walk-on music be? Friends, we're about to hear that music right now. And when they're ready, please clap all the way up to the stage.
Hush now, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destiny.
Thank you, everybody. I love that song. But now I was like, oh, why didn't I choose Ring the Alarm? After hearing that alarm go off. I'm Ollie Brickman. I'm going to read prose tonight. I know, I'm going to read you all a chunk from the memoir I'm working on. And I can't remember if I've ever done this at Murmurations before, if I've ever not read poems, so I'm kind of excited about it. Some of you know I'm obsessed with quantum mechanics and particle physics. And I've learned a lot about it, but in that way that like poets like to learn about it. So if there's any scientists in the audience and you're like, that's wrong, just come tell me later, because I do want to know if it's accurate or not, but don't shout out that I'm wrong in the middle of my reading. Okay, this is just a little chunk, and it's called Sublimation. In 2018, after I moved back to Seattle, I bought an app called Universe Splitter. Press the button, and a machine in Geneva sends a photon towards a mirror with 2 slits in it and measures which slit the photon passes through. Binary slit, either left or right. You program it by putting in 2 possible choices. Then the app tells you which universe you are in. It tracks your progress, your trail through this reality. Supposedly, your splitting of the universe by putting a choice into the app and pressing the button contributes to necessary research in the field of quantum physics. The path on my universe splitter reads like a trail of small indecisions. I'm too scared to use it to determine anything of substance. What if I choose to disobey? What would that do to reality? I press the button. My screen lights up. Splitting universe now. Then the phone vibrates roughly in my hand like something is launching from the pad of blue light out of my phone and into the portal of the so-called real world. A tiny printed plaque appears. You are in the universe where you should order chicken pot pie. You are in the universe where you should take off the necklace. Right now, in another universe, the other you is being told to order kale Caesar salad. The other you is staying in tonight. The other you is having a margarita. The double slit experiment goes like this. Fire a laser through a wall, a mirror, a sheet of paper or cloth with 2 slits cut into it. Observe the pattern the laser makes on the wall behind the barrier, a line of glowing stars, a Morse code interrupted by the gates of the double slit. This pattern proves that light is a wave, interrupted by the 2 scissors. Observe the same laser with 1 slit, and it shows no interruption, a smooth shore of uninterrupted glow. Again, because light is a wave, it has only 1 source. 1 dot glows with a single slit. But light is also a particle, a photon, a pebble of light that fires and lands only after that firing. If a detector is set up around the 2 slits to observe which slit the photon passes through, the pattern changes. 2 single dots appear. This only happens when the photons are being observed. When observed, the light cannot be seen to behave as both a particle and a wave. But if you keep firing single photons through the slits, they will cohere into that Morse code, into that pattern of the waves. I hear ocean. I smell salt. Quantum physicists are still theorizing why this happens, though the double slit experiment has been around since 1801. My favorite of the theories, the many worlds interpretation, treats all possible outcomes as though they exist somewhere in the multiverse. But until the photon is observed, it exists in all universes. It is all things, both particle and wave. It is, some scientists think, and others vehemently disagree, our observation of it, my pressing of the button and asking to be told which way the unobservable light flies that makes it fly that way. This makes no sense, and all the sense in the world. This means the collective consciousness, sentient beings, though what counts as beings is unclear, affects reality. Our attention to the question we are asking creates the outcome. There's no other good explanation, but also no way to test the factuality of this. If we aren't looking, what would the photon wave do? Gender, it may go without saying, is like this too. One of two slits to pass through, and here I am, a sentient ball of stardust trying to fly through every mirror at once, desperate to be seen and begging to go unobserved. I see a meme I love, a brutalist painting of a femme figure, chest exposed, bottom half draped in silk. The caption reads, "Just me with my tits out, begging not to be perceived." My reality is what I make it, independent of your observation. Then again, it is the looking that makes me real. Why else would I cut my hair short? Why else pronouns? Why else the men's suit, the glitter bustier, the loud jumpsuit, the injections, the shirt that flattens my star body into a board the light can bounce off of? It's the gayest possible thing to say, but gender is like the moon. Reflected light pouring off of me to the cis world. The light from my teeth, from my smile as I feel at home again in this skin for the first time. An early point on the time-space continuum. Here's me at 12, passing through the double doors of Clegg Middle School, hair parted down the middle and 15 pounds of books on my scoliosis bent back, trying in every possible way to avoid being perceived. The other kids bounce through the hallway like electrons or photons in a bottle, and I pass through them with my eyes on the floor, armpits sweaty, humming a show tune to myself and trying not to trip on the shoelace trailing from my black Converse high tops. The shoelaces are new. For years, I've worn Velcro Keds, trying to find an increasingly stylish version until that proved impossible, because I've always found tying my shoes to be difficult. Ditto with analog clocks, which to this day take me a few extra seconds of effort and counting to reveal their secrets. If the clock face has no numbers, forget about it. I'm standing there for a minute at least. I look at the short hand, the long hand, I find center, I count down, I find the time. Many years later, I will learn a similar tool in trauma therapy. Find center, orient out, orient down, above, side to side, find center, find yourself. But we were in the hallway, trying not to be seen. Hair cut into a bowl shape and overall shorts. I love femme clothes, I do, but only over-the-top ones. I save my allowance and phone the Delia's catalog. I order a pair of white and black platform sandals made from a stiff foam that smells like house cleaner when I open the plastic they come wrapped in. They are 2.5 inches high with no back straps, just a layer of black foam with a wide band of white foam arching over the top of the foot. I roll my ankles every time I wear them, running past the no running sign at the pool. I order butterfly hair clips and bumblebee printed halter tops, jelly shoes, a rainbow crocheted purse. When the purse comes, I'm so excited. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I wear it to school and kids snicker. I don't understand why. I ask Kristen, best friend, Only friend. It's 'cause it's gay, she whispers back. And I don't understand. How can a purse be gay? I say, suddenly alarmed, suddenly perceived. 'Cause it's rainbow, she says. Rainbows are gay. But I love rainbows, I say, confused, looking down at my new purse, tracing its wide stripes of color with my hand. Can I go back? Can I save me? Can I tell them you will find a way to be in the world, but it has no antecedent, no language? Can I tell them you will invent the language? When I come out to my parents for what feels like and probably actually is the 5th time, something finally clicks. I heard non-binary, but I didn't know that meant trans, says my dad, somewhat alarmed and afraid sounding. Part of the problem, he says, is we don't know how to refer to you with our friends, our dentist. You could just use my name. Or call me your kid or your child, I say. But you're a grown adult, my dad says, which I feel surprisingly moved by. Ooh, I say, poet brain clicking, wheels turning. I've thought of something good. What about notter, I say. 'Cause I'm not a her, get it? My parents are not amused. But I think it's brilliant. To be non-binary is to be both particle and wave. The observer will try to understand you using the tools and language available to them. But the closer we look at a photon's behavior on the quantum level, the more we understand we don't understand anything at all. We don't have a framework where quantum particles make sense with the rest of physics. This is dark matter. This is the inside of a black hole. This is what holds the universe together, and we can't look straight at it. Pun intended. Thank you.
Woo! Please clap for Ollie one more time. Our next poet I'm going to invite up is going to be Amy Hirayama. Amy Hirayama is a writer and educator from Seattle. She teaches at South Seattle College, serves as assistant director at Common Area Maintenance, and is co-founder of Run Your Mouth Press, a chapbook project in collaboration with Simon Wolf. Amy loves collaborative everything, but especially collaborative writing, and she writes about food a lot. Like one time she tried not writing about food, and it was terrible. Once again, my friends, the quirky question we ask folks is, you were a wrestler, what would your walk-on music be? And this is the song that Amy chose.
Though you may find from time to time.
Nope. There we go.
This one is Amy's. Please clap Amy all the way to the stage.
I feel like a fully instrumental song is a flex for your walk-on song. I love that song. Okay, I have a bunch of slides. So I decided tonight to share work that I have made with students. So this is all brand new stuff that I made in the last 10-ish weeks with my 11th graders and one class of 9th graders at Cleveland High School. So we start off with this zine. Next slide, please. This is, tell me 6 things about you. 6 things, if somebody knew these 6 things about you, they'd like really know a good amount about who you are. So I know all the lyrics to my favorite musical, Jesus Christ Superstar, and I realized that this like central cross in the middle kind of gives a different message than I was intending, but that's great, that's fine. I love cooking Japanese comfort food. Next slide. I'm the assistant director at a community arts organization, iHeartCam. I have 2 daughters, Coco and Yoshi. Next slide. I love fighting with my friend Simon. You're so wrong. No, you're wrong. I love you, man. Same dude. I have a love-hate relationship with long-distance running. I hate this. Let's do it again. So that's the first iteration of this, but this quarter, or this residency, we were looking at futurisms, looking at the future from different cultural perspectives. So we take the zine, and then we flip it inside out, and we do a future version of ourselves. So next slide. This is future Amy Hirayama, or future world of Amy Hirayama. Next slide. There are fewer and fewer forms of art and culture. The government decides what the public can consume, and it's all country music. Food will be 3D printed, and people will have access to cheap, delicious food, but no one will know how to make it themselves. Next slide. Because of treatment-resistant diseases, people will only interact virtually. I went real dystopian on this one. It is very rare and difficult to have children, so the government collects babies from the hospital and raises them in state-of-the-art facilities. Parents can visit or work in the facilities as affection specialists. Next slide. Everyone has to become a fast runner if they want to go outside to avoid being cooked alive by the intense heat or being kidnapped and turned into an involuntary blood donor for rich people. And I didn't finish it, so this is mostly unfinished work because who has the time? Okay, next slide. This is Bird Heart. So this was with my 9th graders, and we made these little zines, which was basically tell me the story of your life, but everything has to be a lie. So you can start with the truth about your life and then like twist it, make it so exaggerated, turn it into something else. So tell me who you are, but only in lies. And then we talk about how lies, like the way we lie, actually does tell you something about who you are, so it's super fun. Okay, next slide. I was born on top of a lamppost near Stevens Pass. My parents did their best, but they weren't always sure what to do with me.
Okay, that part's not true.
Next slide. I went to Sky School and learned to speak 5 dialects of cloud. I tried to fit in and failed. And then I also didn't finish this one. Next slide. So part of our project was to create an object from the future. So they had to write a speculative short story as part of their regular curriculum with their English teacher. And then with me, they had to create some sort of object or artifact from the world of their short story. So my short story happens in the year 2242, and my speculative setting is Japantown in 2242. And there's this shop in Japantown called Siren that I absolutely love. And I love this idea of like, what if Siren is like just still there on the corner in 2242? What would their spring like highlights catalog look like? So here are 5 objects or 5 items in Siren's 2242 catalog. Next slide. This is the Han Go 3000. So the Han Go 3000 brings together all the benefits of a personal assistant and a personal chef. Descended from the electric rice pot, Han Go is a small, friendly robot who can take on your administrative tasks, be a thinking partner, and make your lunch. As you interact with Han Go, it learns your tastes and cravings and can offer suggestions for what to eat. It can produce food from any culture or time period and can even recreate fictional meals. Eat at the Spirited Away food stalls without turning into a pig. Next slide. This is the Mochi-la. The Mochi-la is a palm-sized multi-tool shaped like a daifuku mochi. This soft, moldable tool can stretch and transform into a whole catalog of objects, including futon, jacket, backpack, shelter, kayak, hammock, bucket, more. Using patented Stretchotech, the Mochi La has incredible tensile strength, but still maintains its pleasant, soft texture. Mochi La is also a nutrient-rich food with enough nutritional value to sustain an adult for 3 days. Even after years of wear and tear, its advanced antibacterial properties keep it food safe and ready to eat. Okay, next slide. I'm not going to read the rest of these, but I'll just give you a little overview. These are tasty tabs. You add water and it turns into a sauce and any flavor that you want, so you can like customize your flavor pack. I have curry rice, char siu, hambao, strawberry cream pie, and turkey club sandwiches. if you've ever been like, I wish I had a sauce that tasted like a turkey club that I could pour onto those mashed potatoes, there you go. Next slide. Dinner rolls, it looks like a fruit roll-up, but all you do is add water and it instantly heats and hydrates into a full meal. Just put a few in your bag and you're ready to go. And then next slide, this is whole milk, which is a skincare line customized to your individual mental, physical, and spiritual needs. So who needs therapy when you got lotion, right? Okay. Woo! Next slide. So that was my catalog. We did some ekphrastic writing. Oh, we got two projections going on. I'm gonna turn this other one off real quick. Do you like it? Okay. Fine. This is this is an ekphrastic piece of writing. We looked at a bunch of art from different Latinx artists who consider themselves like speculative artists or futurist artists. I don't remember the name of this artist, but this is the ekphrastic poem that I wrote based on this piece of art. Broke down on the highway and shed another skin, tender belly, and how am I supposed to get home now? This new paint job was a scam. Fresh starts expire real quick, and then the sun beats down and burns that baby skin, which crackles, then it flakes. I gotta toughen up. I gotta sand the edges down and rough up the surface before the next coat of enamel. Not too thick now, not too thin now, keep it smooth now, even brush strokes. Even with a whole new coat, I'm still recognizable. Next slide. Next slide. So we made some surreal self-portraits. This is my surreal self-portrait, which my my partner teacher looked at it and she said, that stresses me out. Sorry. The whole idea of this was like, we looked at surrealist art, we talked about it, we talked about like dreamlike qualities of poetry and poetry that doesn't make sense and just play and fun with language and words. And so we started making our, like the whole thing was gonna turn into this like amazing poem. We started working on these collages, and then we just kept working on the collages. And then we're like, does anyone actually feel like writing? No, let's just keep working on collages. So that's what we did. We just collaged. It was really, really wonderful. But I did write a poem for mine. This is called The Fish Queen. A laundry-headed woman stands on tinned fish like a champion surfer or queen of the sea. She holds a lemon bright as the sun and looks through laundry goggles. Yoko Ono guides her. She is strong. She panics. The woman dreams of life without laundry, of beaches and oceans and no obligations. She ties on a running shoe and gets ready to sprint toward the future. She might run into the sea, but she won't drown. She'll become queen and guide all the fishes to salty tomorrows and kingdoms of coral. Next slide. We did some I Remember poems inspired by Joe Brainerd and his work. And something that I love about Joe Brainerd is he was an artist, and he designed book covers for so many of his friends. So I had students write their own I Remember poems, and then they exchanged their poems with other students, and then they had to come up with a cover for someone else's poetry. And the idea of the cover was like, amuse your friend. Amuse your friend with the cover that you make for them. I made my own cover, so I amused myself. I remember tiny bananas that fall off the stem at Grandma's house. I remember being mesmerized by the Ice Queen's beauty and cruelty and wanting that ice wand. I remember the Easter gloves, hats, and purses we got every year until we didn't. I remember the disbelief that they would actually push a piece of metal into my arm when giving me a shot at the doctor. I remember the taste of chocolate carnation instant breakfast and blood. I remember perming my bangs and the smell of chemically altered hair. I remember pledge wood polish. I remember pretending we were orphans running away from an evil king. Next slide. And then I did a bunch, oh no, I can hardly read this. I did a bunch of centos, and I'm gonna get really close over there, so I'm just gonna try and project. And sorry, if video people, you won't be able to see me. So we took all the texts that we looked at during our entire residency. I just gave them a stack of all the texts, and we talked about like remixing the future, taking bits and pieces of our own cultures, of our own experiences, and kind of envisioning the future that we want. That's the premise, but the poems don't ever actually sound like that at all. They just turn out really weird. It's kind of great. So, oh wow, I really can't read this. I'm gonna read it from the book because they're so good and I really want to read them. Wireless mic. Okay. It was hard to hear her. Oh, this one is super dramatic too, because sometimes when you're working with high schoolers, it's super fun to just like lean in. It was hard to hear her above the sound of the weight of my entire life. I had no idea what I was going to, couldn't imagine what, couldn't see between. Years of privation had molded my entire life into a dusty bite of bread, gray bread, limp slices. Bitterly, and then gladly, I acceded to the wisdom enshrined within the dark desert of nightmares. I cast my eyes to the darkness. All I saw were new universes, milk and honey. Go, I softly whispered. Whole fish, in all its forms, not only admitted me, but promised dream lessons. Tiger prawns flung our priceless children into junk heaps and would growl to each other that everyone looked overcooked. I didn't pity the children, I envied them. Tuna immediately knew what to do next. Speak in dream, write about the dream, drift toward the dream, fall backward onto the dream, try to please the dream, see it as a crouching animal. I'm going to miss kindness, milk, and honey. Fire has sprung from nowhere. Horror and incredulity and a righteous superiority have eaten through blood, bones, and butter. What a blaze of hunger. And this is the last one. And I was like in such a bad mood this day. And the students were like also in bad moods. So I'm like, I'm gonna write a bad mood poem because let's just do it. In the dead of night, I, on a mountain, was defying the stars over and over, the poor little bastards. I ate the galaxy and scandalized our entire bloodline. I grinned, sorry, I whispered, and leaned away from the most traditional part of myself. A silent prayer was cheap, so I swiped $1 million from God. You're so afraid of disrespect. I guess I should have expected it. I foraged my own personal truth from junk heaps and 7-Elevens, overheard the sun whisper, stupid, 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 what am I doing? I lobbed our remaining solidarity, kindness, radicalism, foresight, etc., out the large window and felt sheer bliss.
Please clap for Amy one more time. Friends, the next poet I'll be bringing up to the stage is Clara Olivia. Clara is an Afro-Salvo poet and abolitionist living in diaspora. Born and raised in South Central LA to Salvadorian refugees, their writing explores the intersections of displacement, disability, lineage, and history. Their honors include support from VONA, the Hearst Wright Foundation for Culture, and residencies such as the Mineral School in Washington State, Sea Salt and Honey in Senegal, and others. Since 2022, they shared their words in open mics and ceremonies from Seattle to South America and have been published across the internet and in print. Their poems have been featured in the South Seattle Emerald and when language broke open, an anthology of queer and trans Black writers of Latin American descent. Their debut collection, The Whisper, The Storm, and The Light in Between, received the gold medal for Best Bilingual Poetry Collection by the International Latino Book Awards in 2023. Clara currently lives in a cozy home on unceded Duwamish land with their partner, dog, and an ever-growing number of houseplants. My friends, once again, the quirky question we asked folks is, if you were a wrestler, what theme music would you walk on to? And this is the song that this wonderful writer chose.
Reincarnated, I was stargazing. Life goes on, honey, and all my babies.
Clap all the way up!
Looking for the Barkley. I keep a horn on me, that come my seat. I peep, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet. A yee nigga couldn't try me in a tri-state. Buddy pass, but I get him splashed till he hydrated. Bounce out, know he spook town, eyes dilated. I got the money in the
Hi. Yeah, so my name is Clara Olivo. My pronouns are they and them. I have some new work that I'm going to share with you guys, and I'm doing things really differently today because I'm going to be reading from my tablet, which I never do, which is really confusing for my ADHD brain. And there are some digital collages, which I never share, that I want to share with you guys, that I hope will come up on the screen soon before I get started. And if not, that's okay. I can just read the poem. Yay! All right, so I'll read this part. So the digital collages you are about to witness were created using photographs from my personal and public archives. Many of the images from nature and space were captured during my artist residencies across the US and my sojourns to Africa and Latin America between 2022 and 23. Absolutely no AI was used in the making of these sacred portraits, because fuck AI, y'all. So let's go ahead and go to the first one. And so here, before we dive in, we find ourselves at the door of no return. This door is below the master's quarters at the House of Slaves on Goree Island. And there's evidence that as many as 15 million African people passed through this particular door of no return, all of them kidnapped and trafficked into labor's lands and horrors unknown. Some survived and some disembarked at the port of Acajutla on the shores of Sonsonate, where my mommy and her mommy's mommy was born. And so this door opens, and rather than looking into the maw of the Atlantic, we are looking into the verdant landscape of El Salvador and the Volcano de Izalco. And so across time, space, and water, my ancestors knew that despite the door demanding otherwise, we would one day return to ourselves and our sacred soils. I've done a lot of research, y'all, to understand where I come from and where I'm going, and it's easy to forget those things. So this archive, this show that I am going to be sharing with y'all today, is to help me and us remember that we were once free from oppression, and we will be again. And so, in the spirit of remembrance, this first poem is titled Forgotten Family Facts. Our lineage has called this continent home for millennia. Our skin inked in earth, indigo, café, mar y arena. We tended these lands before they were stolen, named nature with our common tongue, a sacred language woven, cultivated culture from deep beneath the ground and high into the sky. Unconquered, we thrived, bright and in bloom until white man arrived. Somos salvadoreños, pero antes fuimos nahuatl. Of the sea, the agua, the ocean Weyat first claimed us as hers. We did not need saving, except from those who captured us, sold us, erased us, reshaped us into pale comparisons of their destruction, severed our roots, bleached our branches, anglicized our names. What if I told you that we are more than the subject of disaster and war games? So this next collage, if we can go to the next one, is titled Flowers for the Ancestors. And so I don't have a lot of photos of my ancestors from before the Salvadorian Civil War, which was in the 80s, by the way. And so I know that there's some out there. They got lost along the way. But this couple in the foreground are my great-grandparents from my mother's side, Ander Milpa and Sonsonate. It's very Salvi Gothic, and it's the only picture I know of them that exists. And so around the time that this photo of them was taken, El Salvador was enacting its anti-Black policies, denying entry to travelers of African descent. In addition to whitewashing its Afro-Indigenous history, the country went so far as to erase the existence of Black Salvadorians from the record, despite their obscured presence in the archives. So I have no photos of my family from my father's side, and certainly not from back then. And so the ancestors that I speak to in this next poem are unnamed and estranged, but not from lack of trying. And so this one is called Questions from an Estranged Grandchild to Their Ancestral Grandmothers. Abuelita, do you remember the language your nana spoke to you in your younger years? Do you know what we were called before the introduction of an alphabet that added their own letters and took away our own? If there was a name that was buried beneath the rubble, will it ever resurface and where? If I could speak in our native tongue, would you answer back in broken English o en español? Gengichiwa kaka ne ihuahuac. What colors did your nana wear on the clothes she sewed and dyed indigo blue in grass? ¿Y de dónde vino nuestro añil? ¿Quién sembró las semillas de obscuridad primero? Did they lie and tell you that everything about you was wrong, unworthy, worth erasing, así como me dijeron a mí? What were your last words in our sacred tongue before they made you bite it off with colonial candor? Were you ever truly happy? Did you know that there was more than bondage and destruction, or that you could exist exactly as you are? Do you know the name of the ships that carried your bisabuelitos away from the land they knew into the lands we now call home? Abuelita, what happens when the unspoken and unnamed begins to turn in their sunken mass grave? This next collage, we're going to take it a little darker. So a little darker. This piece is inspired by the final homily of Archbishop Oscar Romero. This year was the 48th anniversary of his assassination, and so I felt compelled to create something to alchemize the complicated feelings. And so this image, this collage takes an image of Romero's last moment, overlapped with an original blackout poem that I wrote and photos of my ancestors' eyes spread out in the collage. And so for those unfamiliar, Oscar Romero was one of El Salvador's most prominent advocates of the oppressed and the loudest critic of the US-backed dictatorship at the time of his death. The man was murdered in front of his congregation the day after he called on soldiers to refuse orders. He begged them to refuse killing their campesinos and to not obey an immoral law. I say all of this because my family, some of my family was still in El Salvador when this happened, when this was going on. And I texted my uncle, who was still in El Salvador at the time, not at the funeral, but he was at the vigil 2 days later. And so thousands of people came from all over the world to bury the man they called the patron saint of El Salvador. But to be silenced at the altar and buried in the ground was not enough, because the regime came back and shot round after rounds of gunfire, bombs, and chemical weapons into the crowd of mourners who trekked to his resting place. My tío was lucky enough to survive the war, and he's enough adjusted to tell me some of his tale. And so his eyes are actually scattered in the collage, staring back at you as I read you this poem titled, "The Blood is the Price." A cross hangs overhead. Jesus weeps and bears witness with the congregation. Their eyes were watching God right before the impossible occurred opposite a miracle, the assassination of a saint, the hope of a people gone the instant a shot rang out. A man who stood for peace and dignity, fallen, silenced at the altar after begging brothers and armsmen to stop the repression. The man Jimmy Carter shut down, ripped apart with rejection, a choir of ancestors shout back. Only cries were heard, tears on deaf ears, still ringing from the bullet felt round the world, body and blood sacrifice, not for self, but to impart justice and equality. In a world hell-bent on subservience and destruction, Papa Romero preached differently. a moment of obsecration, a pause in the universe for us all to look back, to feel and see what time and country has done. I've got two more after this and then I'm done. This one's really special, y'all. So, where do I start with this? Okay, so sometime after I got back from Senegal, I learned of the passing of my tia Annie. That's my dad's sister. And so I don't have a lot of memories of her. I've been estranged from this side of my family my entire life. But I do remember the loving warmth I'd feel when I would see her. And so the connection that was lost was always destined to be found. And so in the celebration of names that I do know, the ones that were remembered are found, here's a little poem with a side of song inspired by Ibrahim Ferrer. It's called Dos Gardenias by the Sea. Dos gardenias para ti, con ellas quiero decir, te quiero, te adoro, mi tía, aunque no tengo tanto, me morías contigo. Me recuerdo de tu amor y la sonrisa que me diste cada vez I would walk through that door. Auntie Annie, tía Annie, new ancestor de los Beltrán Olivos, hija de mi abuelita Niña Carmen Beltrán Olivo, granddaughter to an estranged great-grandmother and a lineage I've yet to know. There's an inexplicable grief not knowing who you were and remembering only how you loved. A grief I can only describe in a short poem y una canción. Okay, last one. You guys would think I'd end with a song, but nope, here we go. One more poem. So this image on the forefront is from the African Renaissance Monument in Senegal. It towers at 164 feet atop a 350-foot hill and points towards the Atlantic. But in this image, it's actually pointing towards our beautiful mother moon. Shout out to the Artemis II team, because they just took like the coolest moon pictures, and so that's one of them right there. Anyway, so this last poem is called Bajo the Same Moon. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to bow out because I'm so anxious. Anyway, so Bajo the Same Moon. Siempre estaremos aquí, under la misma luna, juntos atravesando tiempo, conectándonos sobre raíces profundas y intertwined, locked together in space and time, we find ourselves aquí otra vez, ancestor, spirit, and kin, descendants of diaspora, scattered and found here again. We were together before the sever that conquered our worlds, stole our stories, burying our songs beneath a blanket of nuclear snow, a toxic winter only colonizers could sow. Siempre estaremos aquí, cantando nuestras canciones, singing our freedoms to all who care to hear, our resilient rhythms and rhymes, thriving under these trying-ass times. Los ancestros nos recuerdan que nunca nos hacen falta. They've been here all this time, between galaxies, countries, and continents and lines, under the same moon. They've been watching us, guiding us to gather together here again, under this roof, in this room right here, bajo the same moon. Thank you.
Friends and family, please clap one more time for Clara. The next poet that I'll be introducing is Vincent Rendoni. Clap, please. Vincent is the author of Dead Chicano Mixtape and a Grito Contest in the Afterlife, winner of the Catamaran Poetry Prize as selected by Dorian Locks. His work has appeared in the Academy of American Poets, Poem a Day series, Agni, Prairie Schooner, Copper Nickel, Alaska Quarterly Review, Shenandoah, ninth letter, and Palais. He lives in White Center, Washington. And my friends, we've done this before. You know by now, our weird, quirky question is, if you were a wrestler, what would your coming out song be? And this is the song Vincent chose. Please clap Vincent all the way up. Your boogeyman, Vincent.
Whatever I can, be it early morning, late afternoon, or at midnight. It's never too soon to wanna please you, to wanna.
You should have seen the comment because why did you pick this song? And I said, well, I like to move around and have a good sense of humor, but I also want to scare the crap out of you because it's about a boogeyman. And I'm like, that's a great wrestler name as well. So the boogeyman. So I'm going to read 5, 6 poems. If you're glazing over, I'm probably going to go short. I'm going to try not to do that. I've had a bit of writer's block since completing my second book because I don't know what else to talk about right now. And I'm depressed because I read the news. So I want to share some work I've just tried recently, just completely new, first time ever read in front of people. This one is called, I guess you would call this an acrostic in a way. On this episode of King of the Hill, Hank reprimands his son. Because he's fanning himself in the Louisiana humidity, dressed in seersucker and linen, saying, boy, I need a window seat because this flower is wilting. The punishment for being, stripping his son, the budding dandy, sending the southern finery through the window. I laugh because he reminds me of my own father, a hard-ass, no-ass Texan who played tailback and ran until his hips came off, who let me dance my mother's sequins and sing sexual healing in my falsetto and write poetry. He let it happen, but he still said, that boy ain't right. To the neighbors he cracked a beer with in the alley, to the oil-stained uncles who worked on engines and motorcycles, to the female cousins from the old country, to me, caught red-handed with his old playboy. Old man is a product of his time, let them say what they will. They don't see the quieter moments, admiration of marbled meat, WD-40, mourning the loss of a Ford Ranger, the reminder from father to son, you're not the one who should be worried about looking like a failure. All quotes from episodes of King of the Hill, by the way. All right, I don't know what my algorithm says about me, but I keep seeing these commercials for medicine, and I've been doing a lot of research on it, so this is an ode to that Sky Rizzy commercial. Ode to Sky Rizzy. You make having severe plaque psoriasis look like fun. When you flashed before my eyes, there was color. Greens, blues, pink. God, was our world always this beige? The people with fairer, clearer skin, if they could speak, they would sing. The woman rollerblading, freshly groomed dogs, the man dancing on the street. It has to be Whitney Houston because, God, now I want to dance with somebody. Is this a condition you cure or simply treat? It's in control with Sky Rizzy. At work, I tried to pitch an ad about control. Legal asked me, can any one person truly be in control? Sky Rizzy is in control. What even is plaque psoriasis? Oh, I shouldn't have looked at that on a work computer. The company I work for is in control. I feel an itch between my toes. Is this how it ends? Or is my life just beginning? Nothing a woman who is not seeing sings is everything. You can skip the common side effects. I'm on fire, I'm sold, show me what I'm missing. All right, this one is partially inspired by Ricardo and the memes we send each other on a daily basis. That's how middle-aged men communicate, I guess. This one was just fun and silly. Sometimes we just gotta be silly, right, guys? This is called One Morning My Mother Decides to Start Calling Me Big Dog. Because I said so, Big Dog. Vincent Antonio Big Dog, watch your mouth. It's therapy, it's working. I'm learning how to be more encouraging. Big Dog, it's because that's how it is. Life is never fair, Big Dog, never said it was. Let go of the writing, the art. It's time to get paid, big dog. You're not getting any younger, big dog. I'm doing okay, big dog. I'm as cool as a cucumber up an archbishop's ass on a winter's day. Now I'm gonna call your little sister, little big dog, to tell her the good news. I was cutting, now I'm bulking. I've got goals, I've got dreams again. How much can you bench? Big dog, I could lift you over my head. For the first time since you were a boy, I can lift you over my head. You would know this, big dog, if only you called more. Okay. This one is dedicated to my wife. You're gonna learn a lot about our relationship in about a second. This is called Dress Sexy at My Funeral. Let's be honest, despite all the vegetables you may be put on my plate, I'll be the first to go. My family, both sides, rich histories of maladies. Don't cry, I lasted longer than anyone thought I would. To want more, that would be greed. I have one request. Bear me in a Catholic church. I know, some things never leave me. Do it like they did with my grandfather, benediction, holy water sprinkling, prayer cards, just in case there is a God. I want my bases covered. This isn't even about me anyway. Everyone's just sitting there thinking about their own time. Can't blame them, I would. But the other thing, dress sexy at my funeral. Maybe something black, edible. Maybe red. Let your back breathe. Show them things. Sing my favorite hymn. Let them and thee see that thong. Give your legs their day. Show me what I'll be missing. Maybe your skin will sag and you'll have to dye, pinch, and fill. But what did we have index funds for? You'll never do better, but I don't want you to be alone. You need to be ready to catch and kill. God, imagine the apps they'll have for them swinging silver seniors. On earth, we are briefly gorgeous, briefly alive. Yes, I know it's a church. But if I remember anything, forgiveness is a cornerstone. You told me once that sex is the opposite of death. So when I ask you this, just know I'm asking you to live. Let's get sad now. This was inspired by Dr. Emily Wilson. Was anybody else at that lecture she gave at Town Hall? Just going through the art of translation, how we translate experiences from one another, from ancient Greek to now. And I was very amused by the way she described Telemachus, Odysseus' son, because throughout the years, his descriptions kept changing. And I just decided to keep going and see where my brain was gonna go with this. So this is depictions of Telemachus over time. Telemachus, prince of Ithaca, Telemachus with the stout heart, Telemachus on the brink of manhood, Telemachus whose father vanished, brave Telemachus, loyal Telemachus, stern Telemachus, sagacious Telemachus, Telemachus so timid, Telemachus tortured in the heart, Telemachus with no one to show him better, Telemachus who can't change a tire. Timid Telemachus, inadequate Telemachus, fail son Telemachus, soy boy beta cuck Telemachus. Telemachus who couldn't protect his mother, Telemachus only did what he told, Telemachus who should have came of age by now. Telemachus, did you forget that this story starts with you? I think I'm doing good on time, and you're not glazed over yet. I've been very interested in, well, speaking of Greek myths, I love every kind of mythology because, not really a myth, it's sometimes just the history that's not written down. I've been reading a lot about Mesoamerican myths because it's the kind of shit that my abuelo used to tell me. This one's kind of a tribute to him. It's called A Possum Steals Fire. There was once a time of great darkness. I want to say like 7 or 8 years ago, 10 tops. There was no light anywhere on the planet, only the stars. As people, we came close to extinction. The 1% that remained huddled in a village shivering high in the mountains, close to what little light the nighttime sky could offer. The waxing moon brought us great joy, for we could see each other's faces, dig for grubs, and get a reminder that existence was better than the alternative. And the cycle just kept repeating, and then one day, as the moon waned, a possum walked into the village on his hind legs. He said, "Remaining humans, you don't have to live like this. I can get you that fire, cheap and quick." "A possum," we asked, "what's the catch?" "No catch," he said, "except if I do this one thing for you, you have to promise me you will never eat me." "Comprende? Otherwise," a possum said, pointing at the fading moon, "you won't even have this." You don't look especially tasty, we said. It's what's on the inside that counts. Plus, I've seen what you people do to each other when the chips are down. So we spit in our hands and shook on it, and wouldn't you know, there was light. Things are normal now, more or less. Though I'll be damned, friends, in my quieter moments, I wonder what a possum meat tastes like. And I'm gonna finish on a poem. It's like a figure I wrote originally to protect my uncle's feelings, but he figured it out pretty quick. I call him the Tio who is bad with money. He's real bad with it. But I do love him, and I wrote this for him. It's called A Party Trick. Near the end of his life, I didn't recognize the Tio who's bad with money so much. According to my cousin, he started flying kites at night, whistling old country songs about the serpents and swallows, and questioned the very theory of gravity. Par for the course, of course, for him. My cousin agreed, but when he started wearing the red hat as a joke and making comments about Latino self-reliance, they moved him to the garage. He calls at inappropriate times, asks me if I would like to whistle with him. I work a lot. I'm a Tio myself now. Maybe someday, I always say. On and on we went until the next family gathering. The last time I saw him, though, he was his old self. After we all had a few drinks, he unbuttoned his shirt and we passed out knives to the children. All right, you little shits, have at me, he said. They drove the blades into his belly, oh, the horror on their faces. But then from his wounds poured corn and beans, more than you'll ever see in a lifetime. He was laughing and laughing. The children threw it in the air like confetti. We looked at each other and said, we really should do this more often. I don't know why we called him the Tio who was bad with money. He had so much to give. Thank you.
Friends, clap for Vincent one more time, please. Next poet I'm welcoming to the stage will be Ricardo Ruiz. Ricardo is an award-winning writer of poetry and prose. The son of potato factory workers, he hails from Othello, Washington. Ricardo's work is shaped by his experiences as a first-generation Mexican-American and U.S. Army combat veteran 11B. He holds an associate degree in business and accounting from Big Bend Community College, BA in creative writing from the University of Washington. Go Cougs! And MFA in creative writing from UW Bothell. During his military service, Ricardo achieved the rank of staff sergeant and served on 3 deployments. His first collection, We Had Our Reasons, debuted #1 on Amazon's Hispanic American Poetry Chart and won the Washington State Book Award. Passionate about amplifying marginalized voices from rural communities, Ricardo takes pride in serving as a cultural connector and advocate. Friends, the song that Ricardo chose is this one. And as Ricardo approaches the stage, please clap.
No sabes, es grupo firme, cantando Acábame de Matar, which means just finish killing me off. So tonight, I'm bringing out just some new shit for y'all. This is from my second book that I've been working on, entitled Doctrine of Echoes. We're just going right into it, y'all. So, I wish I could be Barbara Lee. 420 to 1 voted for the authorization of use for the military on September 14th, 2001. Representative Barbara Lee was the only person that said maybe we should pump the brakes. When I played loteria with my mom as a chavalito, she would make sure I didn't grab too many frijoles. So I learned I could fit 70 in my hand before the beans would spill out, and when the family would come over, The handfuls got bigger, and I would spot the rare, weird one in the group. The oddity is noticeable. Where to hide when alone, isolated. Later, while leading a line of soldiers marching, the one-off step would be all that's visible. Isolation has a way of keeping all tranquility at bay. One can really be alone if the inbox stays full of political asks for donations. Crazy, right? 2001, one person sat there and was like, yo, maybe we shouldn't authorize the executive branch to just have full authority to do whatever they want. You know? Maybe we should think about that at a time of war. Warrior culture training. Digging 6 shallow graves in Kentucky red clay, then lay out sleeping pads where it curls in my head like that camp where everyone in my tent snuck out to the girls' side, but me with a book, you know, dirt beneath my fingernails, writing down voices through cedar walls. I've never been camping. Wrote a letter to my mom now in this grave, begging another letter to another mom, to a daughter, never to a son though. Already, the boys rehearsing disappearances, how to follow men into dirt, learning how to offer himself like his father before him, starting at the root, pushing through the dirt beneath the moon in a grave freshly dug, where a mistake like that, one on the battlefield, will lead to everyone in the team dead. And love is dirty nails, graves where sweet letters and knowing that it's your fault. And so you train, and love is the pain in that, and every mistake is a grave, so don't ever make a mistake. I heard it said that the loss of innocence happens when the first round is fired. The loss of innocence start when naked you bend over for a dude in a government building that is 6 years past due on its maintenance and tells you to bend over and grab your cheeks and spread them to look at your asshole, then lines you up to duck walk in your underwear under the buzz of fluorescent tube lights like summer flies in this group of strangers. And before you ever lift a rifle with intent, and upon entering a barracks room, seeing the rebel flag flown high and being told, if you ain't white, you ain't right. And later, once you get comfortable, everyone is called outside, shoulder to shoulder, hands overlapping the small of their back. You hear what a congressional investigation is because the private in the platoon next door had a broomstick inserted up that same ass. And when the new platoon leader, straight from West Point, kicks his feet up on the desk of the Silver Star recipient he's supposed to work with, we change his desk to the dumpster outside, where he can work out and fill paperwork saying that my friend, the new platoon leader's piece of shit because he fell in a 12-foot hole training, shattering 2 vertebrae during that same time your boot got stuck in Georgia clay, causing you to walk for the next 2 days with one boot, and seeing your friend go AWOL because his son was born, so he doesn't want to leave to Afghanistan. Does the body hanging in the closet of the barracks room from fear of going count here? The loss of innocence was when you take that rifle, hit all 40 targets perfectly. Isn't it funny that really raising your hand, it was sworn away, so maybe that's when it went. I wish I could be Barbara Lee. I State your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Warrior culture, Afghanistan. Think of home upon a tower. Think of grapes, think of anything but here. Two men sit on camp chairs, 18 hours, dreaming of fishing, singing Charlie Wilson and R. Kelly and All for One, maybe some Drew Hill or Jodeci. They hold hands, grasped tightly as one hangs over the edge of the wall because you can't leave the tower. The other man holds a hand in one and a machine gun in the other. Later, a hand grenade comes over a wall. My beloved quickly climbs a child. I lost a grenade in a firefight while crawling through mounds of earth. In a cot, Lisbeth Salander softens another night beneath the summer heat. A 1 by 3 inch silver and enamel ribbon catches light like fishing line. The Goat Shack. Before the nap in the hammock, before the MRE box armoire, parachute code, clotheslines, before the RPG attack and the Predator drone missile strike, before my beloved was left on patrol, and before the burning fields, before the phone call on my beloved's, his dad's birthday from that orange SIM card on the Afghan cell that would have got me court-martialed, and then the call to my dad that was cut off when machine gun burst landing next to me, my beloved opening up in response, brass kisses on my arm, before the call back to my dad when the satellite was just back in range, and my mom's frantic prayers to the Jesus candle on the end table by the door, when my brother grabbed the phone saying, "Don't do that shit, bro. They haven't turned off the news," hoping your name and photo don't pop up in a car, government issued, nondescript, unmarked, with men in uniform showing up at the door. Before the back of the flatbed loaded with sandbags, getting sweat in my eyes after I had to take off my bandana because my platoon sergeant thought it looked unprofessional. See, my mom working in a field taught me better than that, but trying to explain that to him, shit, I'd be wearing a boonie cap. It was issued like I was picking cherries again. And then two men moving in from the tree line, walking in on us, neighboring us, dropping us to the floor. Before that, there was the wall, and beside me was my beloved. Before the wall, there was my beloved beside me, and I was with him. After that, I could sleep at peace in the Goat Shack. Last one, y'all. One look at the scars of the fear changes men. An act of generosity towards the oppressed people of Afghanistan, George W. Bush. Razor wire hedgerows, concertina aisles of concrete barriers. Clear out homes, barns, sheds. Drop the bottle of vodka under the mullah's mattress in the dump pouch on my hip. If you go into an area, clear it, then leave it. The enemy will return, so you stay in it. It's living with the people. The hay in the goat shed makes a great sleeping quarter. We're not keeping the family we displaced out. Well, we have to also help the host nation to come to grips with the reason why people might be drawn to extremism in the first place. And that this whole issue of inadequate opportunity, basically lack of education, lack of basic services, inadequate employment opportunities, and all the rest of that, General David Petraeus. And we badge every person with biometric scans. When a return home is desired, when my rifle allows it in those who don't like seeds of wildflowers spread in bloom to meet again, scanned, tracked, recorded in the lines of an iris, unique parts of the new landscape where the caterpillar's pro-legs, unjointed appendages guide with one strong grip like strangulation of public space, accurately named Operation Dragon Strike. But we pay. And Uncle Sam pays in cash, dollar bills, y'all, because there ain't no way to say welcome and vote than Iraq. Straight cash. Don't mind the antagonistic architecture. Our relationship is nation building. The way a hole in a sock sends streams of vegetation through each step. On patrol from this temporary home for me and the people outside who want to be back inside are not people to a rifle muzzle flash. There is no humanity outside the wall, only overexposed ideas. It's how I notice the whole. We're trying to tie the people back to their government. One of the main ways to do that is to link them to their army and their police force. It's very important to build a good relationship with the Afghans. General David Petraeus. With that, thank you, y'all.
Friends, can we applaud one more time for Ricardo, please? And friends, our final poet of the evening will be Ann Teplick. Please clap for Ann. Ann is a poet, playwright, prose writer, and teaching artist with an MFA in writing from Vermont College of Fine Arts. For 26 years, she has written with youth in hospitals, psychiatric units, juvenile detention centers, public schools, and arts nonprofits. Her writing has appeared in Bird Brains, a lyrical guide to Washington State birds, Tahoma Literary Review, Raven Chronicles, Crab Creek Review, the Louisville Review, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, the Motown Poetry Review, and others. Her plays have been showcased in Washington, Oregon, and Nova Scotia, and has participated in Washington State's Artist Trust Edge Personal Development Program for Writers and the Washington State Arts Commission's Teaching Artist Teaching Lab. She's a Jack Straw and Hedgebrook alumna and has received funding for creative projects from Artist Trust for Culture, Seattle Office of Arts and Culture, and the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. My friends, for the last time tonight, you know the quirky question. If you were a wrestler, what would your walk-on theme song be? And this is Ann's.
Bowie. I always dance to David Bowie, but I'm too shy to dance in front of you all. Thank you for coming on this beautiful Seattle evening. My day started out at 6 a.m. with a dead rat in my driveway. And so I thought, what's it mean? Is there an omen? It's been a really great day. And so I get to, aside from the rat, I gently shoveled it into the ravine, blessed it. But now I get to end my day with all of you lovely lovelies. So I'm going to read 2 short flash fiction pieces, and then I'm going to share a poem from a student at Children's Hospital who's 8 years old, and just tell you about this collection of poetry from our Words of Courage project at Children's. I'll save that good part for last. All right. Nobody's queen. First, I got smacked by a truck trying to cross the 4-lane barefoot in a white nightgown on a Saturday morning just before 7 with fog in its lift, with Leo on my tail, black rubber spatula in his hand, his voice a stinking tornado. Gigi, you left the burner on again, and cremated the eggs. Next, the snap of scapula, sternum, sacrum, like hammers on glass, the fracture, crumble, glitter of ivory. Then a hissing sound like air that seeps from a bicycle tire, from the puncture of lungs, liver, pancreas, heart, blood vessels sever, the final bleed out. I knew way before the medics arrived that I was dead. Their sirens like chimes of Corinthian bells, tuned to the scale of C. Last week, I burned down the house. I refused to scramble one more egg for this man. The truck driver's crying, chestnut hair in a side braid, jeans streaked with oil above one knee. She tells the medics an angel with blistered eyebrows flew into her windshield. She said the birds have done that before on her patio window until she taped small red squares in a row to alert them. She says she thought it was a heron at first or an eagle. She mentions that flocks of geese sometimes fly into engines and bring down a plane, and that the fog had nothing to do with it, and that she just hit the road after an hour's nap at the rest stop, so sleep had nothing to do with it either. A styrofoam cup trembles in her hand. She repeats angel as she stares at my crumple near the foot of the tire. I may have been an angel once upon a time, a full-time acquiescent to keep the peace before I learned to defy everything. Leo cannot look at me for more than 1 second before his eyes fly off, his infamous style with everything between him and me, a nuclear warhead. But by some miracle, he musters a centimeter of courage, moves a little closer and squats, musters another and takes a chance at eye contact. The truck driver says, "That your bird?" and pokes holes into the styrofoam cup while coffee drips onto her work boots. "My queen of scrambled eggs," he says, and places the spatula into my hand, curls my claws around it, and says, "You win, Gigi, you win." This is called Linger. You sit cross-legged on the asphalt in the alley, hip to hip, with the boy who shivers your heart like chocolate cake with strawberry icing. It's raining. You don't notice or care. Your hair soaked into ringlets, your face wet with rivers, your Elvis t-shirt cellophane to your skin. On the front, the lyric, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog," in cursive, thick enough to hold up the world. You've memorized the words to that song when you were 7. This year, you aced the impersonation contest at school on the 90th anniversary of his birth. You're 13 and have only known those with steel-heavy steps and steel-heavy voices. 13 and have only written poetry with blood that drips from the knuckles of vowels. 13 and you wait for the boy to finally kiss you. It's been 45 minutes. He spouts every knock-knock joke that your great-grandmother probably knew. He pulls the string from his pocket for a few demos of Cat's Cradle, Cup and Saucer, Jacob's Ladder. He asks you to join his harmonica band, your obsession with Elvis. And he's glad that the rabbits never saw the jaws of that dog. He's got 3 lop-eared bunnies of his own. The boy's breath smells like peanut butter cups, which you hoard in the top drawer with your underwear and socks. He inches closer and tells you he's just signed up for chess camp. Maybe you will too. His eyes shine black with candles behind them. He's almost there. Your 16-year-old sister told you to make the first move if he doesn't, to give him 5 minutes and that's it, to close your eyes and tilt your head so your noses don't bang, and that the first touchdown can be quick. You don't have to linger, but make sure it's soft and tender. You hum, love me tender, fall into a slow ocean sway, and wonder what it would have been like to kiss Elvis. You imagine his lips follow yours, which loops you into dizzy. No one has ever followed you anywhere. Thunder ruptures the dream. The boy says, let's go. A kid got struck by lightning here last week, and the parents are suing God. He adds that his parents would do the same, though they have zero faith in the legal system. You laugh and know that his quirkiness is exactly why you want to kiss him. You grab your hand and you grab his hand, run for cover beneath the willow, forget to tilt your head and slam into his nose, maybe even deviate his septum, maybe deviate yours. He snorts and you laugh again. The two of you linger, linger, linger. Anyway, a minute. This is our latest portfolio of poems from Seattle Children's Hospital. It is our 16th year. We work with our Seattle Children's Hospital, Seattle Arts and Lectures, Writers in the School, partners in print right up the street in Belltown. Check them out. Do the printing, the artists do the printing. And I just wanted to read you The Evil Scientist and the Superhero. We had, yay. So Sierra Nelson and I work at Children's, and each January or February, she and I choose 10 poems from, 20 total from the kiddos we've worked with. And then we have 20 letterpress artists come year after year, and some new ones that do the design and do the letterpress, and some have presses in their basements, their studios, but many do the work at Partners in Print. Okay, so this kiddo is going to be reading June 3rd at Town Hall. And I met with him today, and he said, I really want to add 7 chapters to this story. So we did 1, but this is what he will be reading. And I love it so much. The Evil Scientist and the Superhero. Evil Bob, the evil scientist, has curly hair. I'm sorry, I'm going to start over. Evil Bob, no, it's me and Garland. Evil Bob, the evil scientist, has hair like curly fries from Jack in the Box. One hand is stronger than the other. He wears an evil lab coat. And it's as black as a TV screen when it's turned off. Our superhero, Mr. Fantastic, is fantastic. Because he can fly and is as tough as metal. He has a capital A on the front of his suit, which stands for Astronomic Headquarters, where he works as a superhero fighting crime. Mr. Fantastic has an infinite supply of sugar pop, a protein energy drink that gives you enough energy to eat a cake. He's been a superhero since he was born, and he was born on the planet Supermania, where superheroes land. If you punched his arms, your wrist would break and the bone would stick out of your skin. Just by looking at him, you become the happiest person on earth. Thank you. Final words from our wits heroes. Thank you all for coming. Yay!
Friends, we have reached the end of our show, and someone asked me if I was a wrestler, what song would I walk on to? You are currently hearing it. Nothing fills your soul with as much fear.
Daddy shark, daddy shark, daddy shark, daddy shark.
Grandma shark, do-do-do-do-do.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for making the wise decision to come and experience Murmurations. Friends, enjoy the evening. Have a good night. I think there's still food over there. Please eat so we don't have to take it with us. Have a good one, folks.
Let's go hunt, let's go hunt, let's go hunt.
Run away, do-do-do-do-do. Run away, do-do-do-do-do. Run away, do-do-do-do-do. Run away. Safe at last, do-do-do-do-do. Safe at last, do-do-do-do-do. Safe at last, do-do-do-do-do. Safe at last. It's the
¿Cuánto tiempo va a pasar para que pueda mejorar? Todos somos víctimas de un estado confiscado, con un gobierno involucrado en las ganancias del narco. Es una nación podrida con la población herida. México, 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 es México. México, ra ra ra. Son los Zetas o es el Chapo. Tus hijos ya son sicarios. Muérdete la lengua que hay 30 muertos en Veracruz. Es todo un placer y orgullo saber que el turno es tuyo. Que quizás mañana ya no llegues vivo a tu casa. México, México.